Is Paris ready to be hosting the Paralympics? Au revoir and merci beaucoup Paris, you have been amazing. But how does Paris rate for accessibility and getting around with a disability? Well, for accommodation, Paris rates 2 out of 5 stars. Most accommodation in Paris is not accessible and they have very limited accessible rooms. For example, my hotel that promotes itself as accessible has a step to get in through the front door. I can't even barely fit my chair in here. Really beautiful. However, it is definitely not accessible. There's quite a large step to get into the bathroom. I rate footpaths 2 out of 5 stars. In a lot of the areas, the footpaths are pretty good, but in some areas there's cobblestones everywhere and often big chunks of footpath completely missing. Transportation and getting around, I rate Paris 2 out of 5 stars. From previous experiences, the public transport like the trains and the subway are completely inaccessible, as many of the stations do not have lifts. However, I was able to get around in bike lanes with my bike attachment, which made getting around Paris very, very easy. No hands! I rate attractions and things to do in Paris 4 out of 5 stars. It's the Eiffel Tower! I can grab it! Pretty much all the museums and galleries are completely accessible for people with disabilities with accessible bathrooms. And the great thing is they're free to get in. Also, Disneyland Paris is very accessible and very inclusive for people with disabilities. We're off to Disneyland! Woo! I have my tickets and we're going into Disneyland, and I have as well a priority card. How would I rate this park out of 5 stars? A very, very solid and strong 5 stars. I had an absolutely wonderful time at Disney Paris and got to go on about 15 different rides. That was terrifying. I've actually got tears coming down my eyes. For public bathrooms, I rate Paris 0.5 out of 5 stars. If you need to go to a bathroom in Paris, you pretty much got to go to a museum or your own hotel. Finding public bathrooms that are accessible is very difficult, if not impossible. Overall, I rate Paris 3 out of 5 stars for accessibility. Also, is Paris ready to be hosting the Paralympics? Getting around Paris during the setup of the Paralympics in a wheelchair is very challenging. Behind me, there's actually a footpath closure, so you can't get any further. And on the other side of the road here, there is no footpath. So there's no option other than just to wheel along the road. Based upon my recent stay here, this city is not equipped to dealing with people with disabilities, let alone mass population of people with disabilities. That aside, I definitely still suggest that Paris is a great place for a person with a disability to go, but just be prepared that you might find some challenges.
It's not possible for you to visit the museum.
Why?
Because no elevator, nothing.
Oh, it's not accessible for people?
Not actually.
Would I recommend Paris for people with disabilities? Absolutely, but just let it be warned that you may have some challenges and you may struggle to get around with a large power wheelchair. Thank you so much for joining me on my Parisian adventure, and come with me as together we wheel around the world.